Hey, what's up, yo? It's Noka2 coming at you with another comic haul. First, as always, I'd like to start off by thanking everyone who have taken their time to watch my videos and have taken the time to leave a comment. I've been having fun doing these haul videos. Um, although I am excited that winter is finally coming in April to HBO, I think I'm equally excited that spring should soon be here in mid Ohio because it is still cold in Ohio. I mean, it was single digits yesterday and single digits today. I'm not sure what it is with wind chill factor. All I know is it's cold. And as I've gotten older, I think I've become less tolerant of the cold, and I can now start to understand why people leave Ohio for the winter and become snowbirds for warmer weather. But I am excited for the spring to be coming, as that means garage sales, more comic hunting, mini cons, local cons, flea markets, and I really enjoy hunting for comic books. As I mentioned before, in the winter months, I just am not into going to cold warehouses and stores looking for comics, dollar bin hunting. Um, and so, I shop online mostly during the winter. This book in front of you is a hardcover book that came out in 2010. It's a collection of the covers that Adam Hughes did for DC Comics, and Adam Hughes is one of my favorite artists, and I'll be honest, I've actually been looking for this book for a few years. Um, Currently, right now, there are probably about 12 to 13 listings on eBay for this hardcover book, and a few years ago, I would be looking for it, and there would only be 4 or 5 listings, and they wanted several $100s for it. It was easily always over $100. Now, for whatever reason, there were several listings for anywhere ranging from 40 to 160. To I think there was maybe one for $300 for this hardcover, and the price is reflective of how mint and crisp the slipcover is. A few months ago, I had seen this. It was probably maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I saw this as a buy it now on an auction for I think it was $75 plus shipping and handling. And I made a mistake of just clicking because I'd never seen it that low for some time, and there weren't that many listings that were in the double digit range, and so I bought it now. And long story short, I think the seller was a scam because as soon as I bought it, I said, "Well, man, maybe I should have looked at his reviews." And because he only had like maybe 40 some sales, and most of them were actually negative, and specifically there were several that said they never got their item. But long story short, I went through the appeal process through eBay and got my money back. And so I was still searching for this book, and this book came recently online. I got this book maybe a week and a half ago in the mail, and it was $75 with the cost of shipping and handling, which I thought was a great deal. Uh, the book itself, it's a little bigger than a trade paperback or graphic novel. The slipcover is in pretty crisp shape. There's no the gloss is sharp. There's no bends or folds, and so that's really what this book is priced on, as a slipcover. However, I will tell you that the actual cover to the book is awesome. It is the iconic cover of a picture of Supergirl, and I just think it's a beautiful book without the cover, slipcase cover. But that being said, I've been looking for this book for some time. It has an introduction by Adam Hughes. It has, his classic run. I think because he became famous for his Catwoman run, as many of you know, iconic covers. Although this cover here is that one, and probably the Harley Quinn Rebirth is probably his most valuable covers right now. I mean, this is probably CGC graded 9.8. It's probably a a $1,500 book. But that's, I think, the cover. The hardcover itself is great. Interior wise, it's all mint. It has sketch work of his covers, the cover, some of the sketches that he did in preparation, which I think is great. Particularly in this day and age, as people are getting accused of copying images from other artists, as well as photographs and movies. I think that Adam Hughes has been original, kind of like Alex Ross, who I think doesn't get enough love in regards to the value of his comics. So that's a book that I've been after. I thought I'd show that. Speaking of Adam Hughes, I did just get his Avengers No Road Home #1. Now, this isn't my favorite cover by Adam Hughes, and in fact, probably one of the first times I would say that the variant cover. This is a 1 in 50. I think I paid $50 for that with shipping, and so it's a great cover. I do like it. It's nice, but I think he's done other Scarlet Witches covers that are better. But even though this is the hot book, I guess, from this cover run, I actually think that Mark Brooks' cover, which is just normal ratio, was a nicer book. And I think mainly, the color on this is too dark. I like the lighter red of Scarlet Witch. And then the other hot book that came out for the Avengers was this number 15 variant edition by George. Is his autograph in there? George Perral, right there. And so with Captain Marvel, all the hype with the movie coming out. But that's a nice cover. I still think for the Avengers that month or that week, that's probably my favorite cover. Just some newer books. I was fortunate enough to get the Venom Watchmen homage. It's kind of hot right now. This Young Guns, Russell Dauterman, Upside Down, kind of homage, I think, to the movie Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, where he gets kissed. Another comic that I got recently, West Coast Avengers, because I like Jimmy Kimmel. I thought that was a kind of a cool cover with Jimmy Kimmel on it, so I picked that up. Well, the kind of hot book was Action Comics with the Jeff, what's the guy's name? Jeff DeCall, I think. That cover is kind of cool with Superman. And another cover that everybody's been following Immortal Hulk with Alex Ross doing some cool covers. I picked this up. I'd already had this, but the LCS had an extra copy left over. And I picked it up, but I didn't really pay attention. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have picked it up if I'd known. There was just like a little color. I don't know what that is. Printing error or something where the color rubbed off on a corner there. And if I had known that, if I would have paid attention, let's put it that way, I wouldn't have picked that up. But I show that because I think Alex Ross is getting a lot of attention for his Immortal Hulk covers. But he did do a Captain America cover, I think it was this week or last week, that I just think is awesome. And again, Alex Ross, a lot of his books do not increase in value like some of the other artists, J. Scott Campbell, Art Germ, and Adam Hughes, but I think a lot of his work is just great work. I've shown some of her covers in my last couple of hauls that I'm really starting to dig is, again, Stephanie Hans, her Die series. That's issue number 2. And then issue number 3. I think it's cool looking covers. Another comic, if you guys haven't been on yet, that is steadily going up in value I really like Takata's artwork. Is Monstrous. It was on a kind of a hiatus where they weren't they had just stopped, and I like the fact that instead of just making the book with other artists, they just stopped production. Image did, because it is their own artist owned title with Image. The Sana Takata artwork is beautiful in this comic, monstrous. So if you're not reading this book, it's a great story, great art. It's kind of borderline Japanese anime artwork, but great artwork. Another artist that I thought I'd share that came out last week is Batgirl number 32 with Derek Chew. Now, when I picked this up, I was actually surprised it was still there, because it was sold out at a lot of places. And I walked in and they had it there, and the LCS owner actually thought it was Art Germ. And I said, no, I believe that's Derek Chew. And that's who it is, Derek Chew. And then I was thinking, well, man, I guess, when you look back, maybe it's a little like Art Germ. So I pulled out Art Germ's last cover, which was Batgirl 31. And, I don't really think they're that close. If you really put them side by side, I can see the similarity. But one thing that I've noticed about Derek Chew, it's the faces are a little bit more pointy, and the chin, and at least in this one, the color scheme is a little different. But I think they're both very good covers. Beautiful artwork. I mean, Art Germ is in his own league, but I did like the Derek Chew art, and so I thought I'd show a few other covers by him. This is Flash 61, the B variant, which I thought was a great cover by Derek Chew. This was Young Justice number 1, also by Derek Chew, with Impulse. A lot of his comics covers were like action scenes, like the characters running, as you can see here. It's kind of a blur background to Flash and even Batgirl. This book came out today, and that was Harley Quinn B cover number 59, the vertical horizontal cover, right? That's a nice book by Derek Chew. And then the week before, or the month before, when he did 58, that sold out, the B cover. I like his colors, they pop. Again, still kind of an action sequence. You can see the background's kind of blurred. I don't know if that's going to be his kind of signature style, but I am liking it. Now, when the shop owner, LCS owner, got Derek Chew confused with Art Germ, I was thinking, I think he could get more confused with Alex Garner. I mean, this was Teen Titans number 26, kind of that in motion, popping eye or popping color scheme. I could probably mistake this more for Derek Chew or Alex Garner, vice versa, between the two. I think they're pretty similar, but what do you think? And then I thought I'd show this just to talk about these DC 100-page giants. For those of you who don't know, these have previously been Walmart exclusives. These 100 comic page giants, they have maybe 4 or 5 pages of new material. Some of them have been hot because of introduction of new character. But the reason why I'm showing this mainly is to let people know, if they don't know already, DC Comics has decided to stop doing Walmart exclusives. They will no longer be exclusive to Walmart, these 100-page Comic Giants. I'm not even sure if they're actually going to even send them to Walmart anymore, or if they're going to be sold in LCSs. I know Target had their recent exclusive, um, and a lot of it was because LCSs were complaining that, and some of the consumers were complaining that LCSs were going to Walmart and buying all the copies and then selling them for premium at their own store, which kind of, I think, defeated DC's initial goal of printing these comics, right? It was more to get a bigger audience, when in reality it was just driving up market by someone buying all the comics and then selling them immediately the same day on eBay for a premium, or even LCS is buying them and selling them for a premium. So I thought I would bring that out if people didn't know. I did buy several of these. I didn't buy all of the 100-page Giants. You know, I got a few of the Swamp Things, Batman, Superman, Teen Titans, etc. But I did not buy all of them. Now I brought this comic out. I got this at a dollar bin, out of a dollar bin, and I brought this because it's Icon #1, you know, and it's in the poly bag. And the problem I have with these poly bags, for a number of reasons, and I was just thought I'd bring this up to hear what people's comments are. So one of the problems with the poly bags is you can't tell if the comic is in mint condition or not, because there could be spine ticks all along this, you know, color poly bag that you don't even know. That's number one. Number two, some of the polybag comics, the combo pack comics particularly, the plastic polybag that it was in was a very flimsy polybag, and I would buy from a LCS. It was bagged and it was boarded and still in the bag. And like a lot of the haulers that show them, when I get my comics, I rebag them. A lot of times, if not always, I put them in Mylars for longer preservation. But if you look at these poly bags, they're actually they actually fall apart. I mean, literally, they can disintegrate. You know, particularly if you get a poly bag combo pack New 52 bag, and it's been bagged. When you take it out of that initial poly bag, that bag crumbles. It sticks to the cover, and I actually think it may do more damage to the comic than itself. So when I find these books, I often will take them out of the poly bag, simply because I'm afraid the comic is getting damaged by that poly bag, which is hence the reason why you put comics in Mylars. I kept this one in because it has all this other stuff that's in there. And I had other, you know, Icons #1. But I just was wondering if anyone else has come across that problem with these comics that are already bagged in poly bags, because they're cheap poly bags, and if they take theirs out. So anyway, I thought I'd bring that up for discussion. I'm also at this dollar sale. I got this book, The Spectre #62, the final issue, which is also the first appearance of Mr. Terrific. The new Mr. Terrific. I could see that becoming a character in one of the upcoming DC Universe movies. So I thought, you know, for $1. Now this book still goes for $15-20. I know at one time it was going for a lot more. This is in near mint condition, sharp corners, you know, no spine ticks. Great book to have for $1. I still pick these up every time I see them because I think they're undervalued books. New Teen Titans Volume 1, number 26. And if you believe in the newsstand edition kind of variant, this is the first appearance of Terra. I think that is an undervalued comic. I picked these up because they were, again, $1. Dazzler #1, Direct Edition. #2, #3, #4, and #5. Now these were all in mint condition, so I thought I would pick those up. And they had a few more, but they weren't all in continuous order, so I just picked the first 5. It's not worth much. It's probably, I may have overpaid for $1. Let's just put it that way, because it's not a first appearance. As we know, our first appearance was in Uncanny X-Men. But I I picked that up, and then actually I picked that up too, $1 variant edition, the newest volume of Dazzler. Bill Sinquinet's cover. I think it's a nice cover. Picked these up for $1. I haven't rebagged these yet. These were Young Avengers. Young Avengers is getting kind of hot. This was a limited series. Patriot, not the one that's the most valuable, the one with Kate Bishop. Young Avengers one shot, #1 special. #2, #3, and #7. So for $1, I decided to pick those up. They were early issues. Some more dollar books. I picked this up not for any of significance, but because it's one of those square bound spines from the late 70s, 1977. Fantastic Four King Size Annual #12. It was $1. The spine was still pretty preserved and sharp corners, so I got that for $1. I got this comic for $1, The Human Fly #1. It's not really worth anything, but it wasn't, pretty high grade. There is a little crease in that corner there from a fold over. I really got this for childhood memories. I remember when this comic came out, a friend of mine that collected comics on the street, was talking about how this guy, I have to read it again and see. I don't think he has any superpowers, but as you can see, it says the wildest superhero ever because he's real. I think he was like just a super athlete and had no powers, and he was fighting crime. So, it was kind of like trying to say that someone could be that superhero in real life. So I picked that up. I got these because they were in high grade. The Inhumans #5 for $1, and then #6 for $1. I was surprised to find these for $1. Actually, maybe they were even cheaper than $1. But New Mutants #1 newsstand in pretty high grade. I got 2 copies of that. I think they were $1. They might have been a little bit less than $1. Tales of Teen Titan Volume 1, Annual #3. It's the conclusion of the Judas Contract. I think the Judas Contract was one of the best 4-part stories in comics at that time. And then I bought these books, and got these books for, I went to kind of an auction, and this stack of books, I think I bought this stack of books for $10. And there's quite a few other books that I haven't got around to bagging yet. But I thought I'd show them because these were probably for $10, these were probably the most valuable books. Akira #1, and these are all in mint condition. #2, #3, #4. Oh, number 5. I thought I had 4. Maybe 4 isn't in there. 5, #6, #7, and #8. So, of the comics that were in there, a lot of them weren't really worth anything. These were probably the only ones I thought were of value, and the only reason why I bought that bin. They were selling them in bins, so you bought whatever was in there, whether you wanted them or not, but you couldn't cherry pick out from all the bins. And so for $10, you got what 7 comics there of value in mint condition. I figured that was worth it, so that's why I bought that. Plus, I drove quite a long ways, and I figured I might as well come back with something. So anyway, there you have it. It's short haul. I've got a lot of books still left to show. I am patiently waiting on springtime for warmer weather because I don't know about you guys and gals, but I am starting to get that fever again to go hunting for comics and dollar bins and going to shows. Looking forward to this season of summer con. So with that, peace out. Hope everyone has a great day.